right. And see what's happening. And it just takes a minute, but hello everyone. This is attorney Robyn McCoy with Political Coffee with Robyn and Tracy. And we have a special guest today. We have Lonita Baker, who is he is the lead attorney for the Breonna Taylor family. And we always have mugs. Lonita, we're obviously not expecting that you have to have a mug, but I have my mug today. All things are possible for those who believe. Mark 9:23. And Tracy, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
Hey everybody, it's attorney Tracy Martin, your co-host for Political Coffee, and we're so pleased today to have with us Lonita Baker, one of the top attorneys for Breonna Taylor. You know, this marks the 1-year anniversary of her death, and she's live from Louisville, Kentucky, and we're going to jump right into it. And you know, in honor of Breonna Taylor and you, attorney Baker, I brought my political action mug. It's got all the names of the U.S. Senators and U.S. representatives, because we need more action on the federal level. I know there was a Breonna's law that was passed locally there in Louisville, Kentucky. I'd like to talk with you more about that, but welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you all for having me.
And so I know, Lonita, you were telling us this is the 1-year anniversary of the death of Breonna Taylor, and you're at a rally. So share with our audience, like what's the rally? What have you been up to?
Yeah. So the rally is 1 year. As we all know, no officers have been held accountable for Breonna Taylor's murder. The Attorney General, when he presented case charges to a grand jury, he did not include any charges on behalf of Breonna. So today, 1 year later, we are here, and it's our continued call for justice to arrest and indict the cops that murdered Breonna Taylor. And as we get through it, and once we get through some of the conversation, I'd love to show you all. We have Breonna Taylor's family here, Jacob Blake's family is here, George Floyd's family is here.
Oh, great.
Well, it's people from all over the country. We have people from Love and Hip Hop here. Portia, as you know, she's been arrested a few times. She's here. It's amazing that the people are still here. They're still saying Breonna Taylor's name, and they're still calling for justice, because we can't continue to let officers get a pass when they kill our people.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's
right.
right.
I was just wondering, Attorney Baker, I'm looking at your background there, and so I know there was a street banner program in honor of Breonna Taylor. Are the street banners still up? It was kind of controversial.
They're on the other side. Yeah, they're still up.
Great.
They say Brewway, so they're on the other side of the square. So I'm in what's called. I'm going to share my camera so you guys can kind of see. I came out to make sure I could hear you all, but this is not that. Look at it. This is what we call it's called Justice Square Park, but the protesters have renamed it Injustice Square Park. So I'm behind the stage, but on the other side of the stage, you see a lot of people. The Breeway signs are right over behind where the people are. And so Injustice Square is right in between City Hall, where the mayor's office is, the Metro Hall, where our Metro Council works, the courthouse, of course, and the Commonwealth Attorney's office. So it's kind of like that circle, and then the jail. But It's kind of that circle of where everything happens that operates the city.
Okay, and Lonita, so I know that you, and looking at your background, we have your bio that you're a personal injury attorney with Sam Aguilar Injury Lawyers in Louisville, and that you served as an assistant Jefferson County attorney for over 6 years. You practiced legislative services branch of the civil division as a supervising prosecutor in the criminal division. I know you're active. I know you from the National Bar Association. You're vice president. I know you're going to be running for the president-elect position. And we definitely want to know what we can do to support you. But so why don't you tell the audience, like, how did you get connected with Breonna Taylor's family?
So Breonna's family contacted our office the day after Breonna was killed. And Sam Aguiar, myself, that's where I work at, Sam Aguiar Injury Lawyers. We took on the case together for 2 months. It was us here investigating. We filed a complaint. We're just moving and trying to get as much information as we can, do our own investigation, have an investigator go out, talk to the witnesses, investigate the scene, everything that lawyers do. And so we had the case 2 months before America began to learn about Breonna Taylor. And that's when Attorney Benjamin Crump, who's also here, he's talking now. When Attorney Benjamin Crump he reached out, actually, he said, I'm hearing some things about a case in Louisville, Breonna Taylor. Do you know anything? I said, yes, Ben, that's my case. And we talked about it. And I didn't ask him to come onto the case at that point because knowing the magnitude of attention that he would be able to bring, I wanted to make sure that Breonna's family would be okay if we did that. And he was okay with it. Once I talked to them, they thought about it a little bit. It wasn't one of those quick yeses, because I mean, you can imagine living under a microscope, and your loved one. Of course, they're going to try to tarnish her reputation because that's what we see in police shooting cases.
Right.
So they really didn't have to think about it, but at the end of the day, thought it would be the best way that we were going to get justice for Breonna.
And Attorney Baker, was it Breonna's mom, Tamika Palmer? I saw her on CNN earlier today, who reached out to you initially.
It was, and the first time that she came to my office, it was her daughter Janiyah, and her sister. So very strong.
How's the family doing? How's the family holding up?
It's hard. A lot of people are, and with some of the interviews that Tamika's done this week, they always go, well, you got the $12 million settlement. She's like, I don't care about money. I want the officers responsible for killing my daughter to be held accountable, And so to know that we're 1 year from when Breonna was murdered and they're still, walking free. Yes, a few have lost their job, but when you look at the information of why they lost their job, lying on a search warrant, that's perjury. Why is he not charged? Firing recklessly without a target. Why is he not charged with murder? It's just the same story we're so used to seeing. But they're strong. They are here. That, as I said, they're part of this fraternity that no one ever wants to be a member of. But George Floyd's family is here. Jacob Blake's family is here. She has a lot of communications with Wanda Cooper, Ahmaud Arbery's mom. She's had a few conversations with Sabrina Fulton. So they have such a strong support system, and just their family itself is strong also. That I'm
it's
always
like a justice alliance of sorts. Unfortunately, all of these families who have lost their loved ones through this senseless, police brutality and excessive force and police killings. But I have a burning question for you. I read your bio and I know that you're a former prosecutor, correct?
Yes.
Well, one of the issues is this, seemingly incestuous relationship between police and prosecutors. I noted Dan Cameron, the Kentucky AG's comments in the media about, he says, justice is not easy and does not fit the mold of public opinion. But, what can we do to get justice and accountability when it comes to these police killings? I mean, what's it going to take?
I think we have to get our communities to pay more attention when we're electing prosecutors. I want to say in most jurisdictions, prosecutors are elected, and it's those top prosecutors that are going to be able to make the most difference. We see that with Marilyn Mosby, and we see the attack that she got, she's under all the time from FOP. So we have to support that sister by any means necessary to make sure that she can keep her job, right? Kim Fox, and we had Aramis Ayala in Orlando. She only did one term, but we have to support prosecutors who are going to be willing to hold police officers accountable when they break the law, just as they hold other people accountable when they do so. Police officers are not above the law. So I just think we really have to, and I think it's on us as attorneys to educate our communities when it comes time to those elections, because it's not the person that spends the most money. It's not the person that has all the commercials running. So we have to really get into our communities, go to community events and really promote and encourage candidates that are going to do right.
Right, and I saw that through the NBA, they were talking about the prosecutor, the sister in Missouri, that they were coming after her. And, you know, what we did here in Michigan is we have Victoria Burton Harris. She ran for prosecutor against Kim Worthy. She lost, but she ended up linking up with Ellie Savant out of Washtenaw County, who we supported. And so she's the number 2, but she is a progressive, reform-minded prosecutor. And so I agree with you. And we brought Ben for Black Women Lawyers. We talked with him last year. And then, you know, Ben is always like, I'm glad to see that you're doing this, because when we go to the trainings, it's always mostly men that are doing the police misconduct cases. And I know Ben has talked about, we need to have more women. He's talked to me about doing it. And I'm just glad to see you, because it makes a difference. It's just like people ask me, why do you practice? I'm from Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti, but why do I practice in Detroit? You know, I practice in Detroit because I see Black attorneys, I see Black female judges, I see myself. And so it makes a difference to have people such as yourself out here leading the charge on this issue. And you know, part of why we brought Ben out last year is because a lot of our membership for Black Women Lawyers, they were like, we want to know what's going on with Breonna Taylor. We want to know what we can do. And so I want to ask you, what would you say we as attorneys can do? I mean, I know some of us will be inclined to come out there to Kentucky to help support you. Some people may want to do it from Michigan. So what suggestions do you have for attorneys, for some non-attorneys, Black folk activists that want to be a part of making change and seeing justice for Breonna? We understand the money is not enough. I saw, you know, George Floyd, they just gave a $27 million settlement. Okay, money is okay. Money's good. We're not gonna say no to money, but you still have the loss of a human life, and Black Lives Matter. I mean, you know, I'm a criminal defense attorney. I see all the time when Black folk and poor folk do stuff, there's accountability. So when white folk or police, racist police do stuff, there also has to be accountability. So what can you tell our audience is what do you suggest they do in terms of helping you and helping with Breonna Taylor's situation?
So one thing here, I tell people, if it's 4 years when we if this Commonwealth attorney won't do his job, then we need to get rid of him when he's up for re-election and hold the next Commonwealth attorney responsible. Because in Kentucky, we're fortunate that we don't have a statute of limitations for murder.
Okay.
So I'm like, hey, I don't care how long it is. We're gonna continue to fight. We're gonna be out here. We're gonna keep making noise. But one thing that I think lawyers have to do more of, like, we can't get arrested, right? For protesting and things like that. But the things that we can do is represent pro bono protesters for protest cases, so that we can encourage people to get out there. We can run for state legislature, because we need to get these. We have federal legislation, but we need to get these state laws changed too, right? Because the federal is gonna only apply to state agencies, you know, just a bit, when usually only with funding. So we need to get state laws changed. We need to be pushing for legislation. Like here, right now, our legislature thinks it's important to file a bill to give police officers the right to arrest people who insult them. Like, if that's not a
how arbitrary and capricious will that be, right? Jeez.
Right. So then, you know, if it passes, because it's, you know, our House is 75% Republican. So if it passes, then we gotta go fight this unconstitutional law, which we know is gonna be found unconstitutional. But like, why do we even have people in Frankfurt in our state houses that are willing to put forth laws like that, right?
Right. What about you? Do you have political aspirations?
Yeah, I'm sure you've been
a
asked
prosecutor. Why don't you run? Why don't you challenge to become the next attorney general?
So I've thought about not just attorney general, but I have thought about political office before, believe it or not, before Breonna Taylor. I actually was thinking even more heavily about it. And I will be
Okay,
honest,
great.
after Breonna Taylor's case, it became one of those, well, no, I need to be practicing law. Like I need to take these cases on because here in Kentucky, not very many people take these cases on.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, why
So
is that?
somebody
Because
has
they
to.
don't have the resources, or they don't want the political
It's all of
things
it.
that
The
come along with it?
resources. Do you want to have to
Okay.
start looking over your shoulder when a police car pull behind you? Like, I mean, you dare like pull me over, but you know, you also don't want to lose your life, right? It's demanding, and then until you know Breonna Taylor with a $12 million settlement, George Floyd yesterday with a $27 million settlement. You work on these, and those are cases that have been settled within a year. Most civil rights cases take years upon years upon years, and you're not getting $12 million and $27 million. You're lucky if you get $2 million, $3 million.
$12 million. I heard that was the largest. That was a historic verdict for all of the city of Louisville.
Yes, it's the highest civil rights settlement in Louisville, Kentucky, in Kentucky history. The next closest was 8.5, so it was a huge jump.
Congratulations, excellent work.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And then, so yeah, as I said, it's crazy to think when I look at this case, the fact that her boyfriend got charged, and I heard recently they dropped the charges against him, and that the neighbors were able to have charges connected for the shots fired at their house, but
into their house.
Not Breonna Taylor, who is a law-abiding citizen in her house, and the police come to her door and her boyfriend shoots at the police not knowing who they are. He gets charged and the police don't get charged.
And Robyn, never mind that the same bullets that went into those neighbors' apartments went through Breonna's apartment first.
Wow. Now, did your firm represent Kenneth Walker III as well, who just got exonerated?
Yeah, we are involved in Kenneth Walker's, but we're not serving as lead counsel there. And involved because we had a lot, we were on early, and so we had a lot of that early investigation that's really crucial to those cases. So we are involved, but for the first few months, Kenneth Walker was solely worried about his criminal charges because he was charged with attempted murder of a police officer.
Right. That's again, it's like, I understand, I do programs on what to do when stopped by the police. After Trayvon Martin, I was upset. So I do these programs. I have videos. I've gone into the high schools and the colleges, and I partner sometimes with the police. I understand that there are good police out there, but there are also bad apples out there, and the bad apples need to be weeded out,
Because Robyn, you can, like you said, you do programming on what to do when stopped. But like with the case of Breonna Taylor, you can't even say what to do if they coming in your house unannounced. Like, do you wait to see if it's somebody there to rob you or kill you, or do you?
Exactly.
So tell us about Breonna's law. Tell us about Breonna's law. What does that constitute? What's that about exactly?
So far we've passed it on the local level. So just in the city of Louisville, it bans the use of no-knock warrants. So officers are no longer permitted to enter homes without knocking and without announcing themselves. And it's both. Some people think, well, they knocked. Well, no, you have to knock and announce yourself.
Okay.
And then you have to give the people inside so much time to get to the door, because in this case, 12:40 at night, she was asleep. So you have to give people a reasonable amount of time to get to the door. And in our statute, it says at least 15 seconds. But I think when you start to talk about reasonable, when you go to at night in the bed sleeping, you have to take that into consideration, right? And it also requires not that they just have on body cameras, but that you actually activate them, because you
turned on.
Turn them on. Because how many times you say, oh, they had them on, they were wearing them, but they weren't turned on. Well, what does that do? Like, why do we implement them?
We've had that in Detroit. We had a search and seizure training, and they showed us some video footage of the cops. Sometimes they don't turn on the videos, or sometimes I was shocked. They had one where they had the video on and they went in a person's butt and took out drugs, and they didn't have a search warrant or anything. It was just, and that's why they said for us criminal defense attorneys, make sure you watch these videos, because you could catch the cops doing some things that are illegal, that are wrong.
And then what happened though, when y'all start catching them, like, because I was a prosecutor when we first got body cameras here. I love them because I'm like, oh, I get to see. Did you do it right? Did you do it wrong? You know, do I need to dismiss this case? Is it a good case? Like, I love them. But once defense attorneys start saying, ho, you weren't supposed to do that. Then they got clever, like, well, we just want to turn the cameras off. If it's going to give them the evidence that they need to dismiss the case, I'm not going to turn them on, right?
Wow.
Right. I think if they're not going to turn them on, then they shouldn't be able to charge a person, because it's like, we don't know what really happened. It could be made up. It could be anything could be said. And I mean, so here in Detroit, I don't know if you've heard, we just had an incident last Saturday where there was some police that were shot at. And our our Detroit police chief was upset about that. So, and they're talking about, he was talking about those concerns. What about in Kentucky? Has there been an increase of police getting shot because of kind of like the backlash, the injustices that have happened?
No, not really.
Because
we, at the end of the day, we still scared to, unless you're ready to die, or so no.
But I mean, to that point, I mean, is it tense between the police and the community? I mean, what is it like now?
It's very tense. Like, I had, the chief, our new chief, she reached out to me this week, knowing that we were having the rally and things. I said, well, here's the thing. Don't arrest protesters for stupid. Can I cuss on here? I said, don't arrest protesters for stupid-ish.
You can cuss. We know.
Okay.
Okay.
We're on Zoom and social media.
We're on
it's
Zoom, though. We're on Zoom and Facebook, but yeah, ain't nobody saying, we all go.
Don't arrest them for stupid stuff. Like, I get, like, I said, I'm a former prosecutor. I'm never going to be one of those people that you have a justified arrest. Somebody did something very dangerous, fine. But just because some people are blocking a street and blocking traffic, if ain't nobody get right down, don't be arresting them for obstructing a highway. Let them go.
Right. See, we've had that in
just
Detroit.
when you go and arrest them for stupid stuff. Like, they gonna be out here, they let you know, well, you can arrest us all you want, but we still gonna be out here as soon as we get out.
Well, how did the police chief respond? What was their response?
Well, that's what she tried to say. Well, some people have pulled guns. I said, I ain't talking about them. I'm not talking about them. I said stupid stuff.
Okay.
Like, let's get it together. Like, and she's new here. She came from Atlanta. So, we're already on edge because of how she left in the wake of Ray Sharp Brook shooting. Like, that's what we're bringing here. So we did so there's already that concern. And I told her, I said, look, I'm a former prosecutor. You can call over to my boss, my former boss, who's still the county attorney, and ask him about it.
Okay.
And he will let you know that I'm legit. I'm not one of those people that are just like, I don't raise hell just to raise hell. Like, if I raise hell, you're gonna know that I'm coming for a specific purpose because I want to get stuff done. I don't want to be the person that's like, oh Lord, here comes Lonita, what she want now. No, I want something, and like, it's reasonable and it's something that needs to be done.
Right. Wow. I mean, it's justified. Breonna Taylor was a law-abiding citizen in her own house, and the police gonna roll up in there. And I saw the sister in Chicago. They came in the wrong house. She was naked. I mean, and that's just crazy. And then they just, I tell people when I want to do a call by the police, don't call the police unless it's an absolute emergency, because you don't know who you're gonna get. You might get a good one or you might get a bad one. And it's just crazy. So with you being there, who all is there at the rally? I know you said Ben Taylor is there.
Yeah. Ben Crump, he's actually right here. That's who I keep. I think he's walking this way, but Ben Crump is here. Our other co-counsel, Sam Aguilar. You got Tamika Mallory with Until Freedom.
Right. Yeah, great.
Portia Williams is here. Young Jock. Yandy, of course, she's been arrested a few times here too. We have our president of the Louisville Overleague here. It's a lot of people. And then, your regular everyday people who have been protesting. And I think one thing with everything that happened over 2020, I think a lot more people open their eyes to what's really going on.
That's good.
Okay, and then
Breonna's sister's coming over. Let me see. Did you need something? Oh, okay. Breonna's sister was coming over. So.
Okay, and then if somebody is watching and maybe they want to financially contribute to what you guys are doing, do you have a definitive organization or a nonprofit that they can give donations to?
So we do. So we do have the Breonna Taylor Foundation, BreonnaTaylorFoundation.org, but we also do a lot of work with Until Freedom. And when I say as an attorney, you know, we do the legal stuff. They do the activist stuff.
Okay.
I had it was such a tremendous honor to work with them because they were always intent on making sure that they followed the wishes of the family, but then also checked in with the legal team to make sure that whatever they were getting ready to plan or stage would not hurt our case. And that's
Very
not always
important.
the case. You know, I tell people all day long, Breonna Taylor Foundation, Until Freedom, those are two organizations that I ride with. And I love my Louisville Urban League, but I understand also urban leagues are different throughout the country. So, you know.
Lonita, before you go, I know that you've got to get back to the rally, but I heard that Tamika Palmer, Breonna Taylor's mom, wrote, I think, an open letter
I
to
saw that too.
President Biden, and I believe it was published. I mean, what are the chances of getting some, you know, change on a federal level? Have you heard back from the POTUS?
We haven't heard back from the POTUS yet. I'm going to say yet because I want to remain hopeful.
Right.
But we are following closely the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act.
Okay.
And, you know, that does a lot. It has some body camera legislation, some no-knock legislation, but it also limits qualified immunity, which we know is a huge issue.
Right.
Right, we definitely, you know, we want to see that pass, the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. I mean, it's just, there's so much to be done to protect the rights. I mean, the international world community is looking at America, and it's, to me, I've lived in South Africa. It's looking like South Africa. It's looking like apartheid. You know, it's looking, it's American apartheid.
Not looking good.
It's not looking good to the world, and we hold ourselves up with all these rights and freedoms, how we treat people properly, and it's like our actions need to line up with our words. Black people need to feel, we built this country, we need to feel safe in this country.
Right, exactly.
So, all right.
Did you guys?
Are there events going on tomorrow?
We don't have anything going on tomorrow. Well, yes, there's a panel tomorrow. One of the organizations has put it on. I don't know how much time you all have, but I don't mind. Like if you wanted me to walk around and let you guys get it. So let me take my AirPods out. Yeah, let me take my AirPods out so you guys can kind of hear everything going on too.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, we got about 30 minutes. Yo, yeah. Let's see.
Will you put these in here so that it'll come on? I mean, so that it'll. See Attorney right there. He's got a crowd around him.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear
perfect.
you. Oh, we can't see you. Okay. Yeah, we were talking a bit about having him come on. Okay.
He's always got a crowd around him, so.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I taught a class. I actually was featuring his book. I mean, I guess I have to ask you, Lonita, when you gonna have your book so I can feature your book in my class too.
I know. He's on the bed. He's talking to me. This great law school. That's him. I know. I'm on.
Oh yeah.
I know.
Okay.
Know that I'd be in.
Shout out to Attorney Crump.
Yeah, shout out to Ben. Yep.
Yeah.
Open season is his book.
Because I have that ability. So I'm gonna let you all see from the perspective of the stage.
Okay.
It's just about being hungry. It's just about being in need. That's in the name. We are not animals. This country has attempted to break our backs. But today, listen to me. I want you to stand up. I want you to straighten up your back. It is not just that they killed her, it's that they attempted to steal her story. That's what they do to us. That's what they do to us. That's what they did to Ahmaud Arbery. They killed him and then they made him a thief. They made him a burglar. They told us he was not worthy of our concern. They are liars. And we are better than that.
Right.
I want you to pay attention to what is happening in this country. This is a movement. We are standing in Louisville, but across this country, people are standing because they are tired, because they are sick and tired of being sick and tired. We deserve better. You deserve better. My child deserves better. What it is to be a mother. Let me just talk to the mom.
You guys can hear me. That's our Louisville Urban League president.
You know
I love that.
You tell your baby, call me when you make it home. I always think about what would it be for your daughter to be a healthcare worker, and you're Tamika Palmer, and you're worried about her just washing her hands, making sure she doesn't get COVID at a time when this country was celebrating healthcare workers. They were telling us we must honor healthcare workers. Breonna worked all day and came home and her man took her out for dinner. She made it home safe. I'm just saying, as a mother, all I ever want to know is that my babies made it home safe. And then the people that I pay, that you pay to serve and protect, knocked her door down. And they killed her. She was home. She made it. But check this out. Don't stop with LMPD. Let's talk about these damn recusals. First of all, that 911 call, when Kenny went to jail, they knew about that. While we were trying to figure it out, and we were thinking about Ahmaud Arbery and trying to figure out what happened with Ahmaud, LMPD knew that Kenny was on the phone saying, somebody help me. They killed my girlfriend. I need help. But they locked him up. And they told us, there's nothing to see here. And then George Floyd. Here we were trying to be safe, trying to figure out what happened with Ahmaud, trying to figure out what was going on with Kenny. Who was Breonna? Who was Breonna? And then we watched George die slowly. And we still did not erupt. It was when we heard Kenny on that 911 call. That's when we said, oh, hell no, enough is enough.
That's right.
I am a Black woman with a lot of privilege. I make a decent living. I got central air. But I couldn't keep myself out of the street that night. Because sometimes you gotta raise your voice. You gotta raise your fist. You gotta be willing to sacrifice something. Say her name! Do not ever be confused about what we have lost, what they have stolen. Potential. But let me finish this recusal story, Linda, please. So they're prosecuting Kenny, and our Commonwealth attorney recuses himself. But remember, the prosecutors have the 911 audio. They had it way before me and you. So then they passed the case over to the U.S. attorney for the Western District. But I think his problem was that he made a phone call systematically was shot with the check on. You okay, brother? Because that's what they do. It is a very incestuous system. We need to recognize.
Yeah.
So then, or maybe there's some other official reason. Perhaps I am mistaken. Whatever happens, our U.S. attorney recuses himself. And then we end up with this attorney general who comes to my office and promises me justice. He didn't say how it was going to turn out. He just said, you'll get justice. Tamika Palmer will get justice. Breonna will have justice. But then somehow between that day and when he read his decision in September, he decided it wasn't even important enough to figure out whether or not the warrant was good, whether the affidavit for the warrant was truthful and valid. He did not even consider it. Listen to me. We need to be paying attention. We are headed backwards in Louisville, Kentucky. This city, this state does not respect truth. We got a lot of smoke and mirrors. So whatever you do tonight, tomorrow, the next day, in the name of Breonna Taylor, I want you to be clear about something. Breonna is on loan to us. We only get to use her memory to the extent that we are trying to make this world better. But the minute you are not fighting for justice, keep her name out your mouth. There is too much happening in this city, in this country, in this state. You owe it to me, and I owe it to you to fight for justice. And pay attention to these white men who have no courage, and they should not have no jobs.
Powerful.
Yeah, this is powerful.
One more time to Tamika Reynolds from the Urban League.
So that's the president. I told you all that I love the Urban League.
I mean, I can feel, I'm not even there, but I feel the energy. I feel like, man, Tracy and we need to find out when the next time y'all doing this and come down there ourselves.
Yeah, we'll come to you.
And so she's a lawyer, the president of the Louisville Urban League. She is a trained lawyer. She was a judge at one point.
Really? That's fascinating.
And I want to say,
Lonita, are you going to be speaking? Are you going to be speaking today or tomorrow?
I spoke before I came on with you guys because I wanted to make sure that I got the
Well, we appreciate that, and I hope that we can catch your comments.
Look, now I can't.
Oh, we were just saying that if you get a chance, I don't know, well, maybe we'll try to see if we can catch your comments, and so we can share that too, so people can see where you spoke today.
Yeah, we'd like to put your speech up on Political Coffee.
Okay. I can try to catch them. I can try to find them.
Great. Lonita, how many people, what's the population of the city of Louisville?
Say it again.
How many people are in the city of Louisville? What's the
You said,
population?
what's the population?
Like 2.5 million.
Oh,
Okay. Wow.
that's a lot. Yeah, I came through there one time. I went to the Muhammad Ali Museum, which I thought that was amazing.
Yes, it was. I'm ready to hop down so I can hear y'all a little bit better and go back to where I was. I'm gonna let y'all see Ben Crump too. He's done with his group now.
Okay. So yeah, Ben and I always go back and forth. Like he's definitely, Ben is everywhere.
Look, I got Robyn.
Hey, Ben.
From Detroit.
Hi, Attorney Crump.
So our Indian family.
I know, Robyn. We go
Great work.
Hey, Tracy. We out here making
great
good
work.
trouble for Breonna Taylor today.
I know. I said to Lonita, I said, we probably gonna try to bring some Detroit folks down there. We're gonna try to see when we can come and represent and
We're
support
getting
what
on
you
the
guys are
bus.
doing.
Exactly, because your homegirl, Tamika Palmer, is from Michigan.
She is Grand Rapids, Michigan.
I
Okay.
did not know
So,
that.
we're hey, and you got to make sure that shout out with some people screaming. And I said,
Oh my God, yes.
said, the next baby,
I know.
that's
Yeah, I gotta get it. Give me a minute.
I saw this happening. I was like, you're the
So yeah, Breonna was born in Grand Rapids, Michigan, just to give you all that. I don't know if you,
No,
she moved
I
here
don't think
when
we
she
knew
was a
that.
freshman in high school.
Oh, see, I don't think we knew that.
I read that. I think I read that Breonna was born in Grand Rapids, but I just did not realize that Tamika Palmer, Breonna's mother, came from Grand Rapids, but that's the western side of our state here in Michigan. So yeah, we're definitely going to get on the bus and we're going to come down and support, because I think that is what it's going to take, you know, for everybody to come together, you know, just like, you know, back in the 70s with the whole
So look,
protest
I'm giving
movement.
the lady you guys just heard for, she came, she's like, Lonita. So I let them listen to your speech. This is Tracy and Robyn. They are attorneys in Michigan. And I'm on political coffee.
Hello, good morning. How are you all? Good afternoon.
Fine. How
We're
about
doing
you?
well. We enjoyed your remarks. Yeah, we're members of the National Bar Association and Black Women Lawyers in Michigan, and we wanted to connect with Lonita, have her come and talk to us, because Black folk in Michigan, white folk too, they want to know what's going on. What can we do to help?
Let me tell y'all something. Right here, you got Lonita. This is the best. She is the best. This is the strongest sister. When I tell you, she has kept this movement happening and represented Breonna's family so well. She's always amazing. Always amazing. I'm a lawyer too. I'm voting for her. You know, she's running for
I
president.
know that you're a lawyer and a former judge.
Make sure y'all pay your dues so you can vote for this sister.
I know
You're
we gonna
fired.
we're gonna have you come to one of our Black Women Lawyers meetings. So hey,
Love
okay.
your speech. You're
Let me hear
fired. Total fire.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, wait, what was her name again?
Sadiqa
Lonita.
Reynolds, Louisville Urban League. I love her. She's my shero. She just built she spent, I don't know how many years, but she got 5 years. She just had the grand opening for a $50 million indoor track and field facility in the West End. So one of the poorest zip codes in the country.
Oh,
She
okay.
just put a $50 million track
fantastic.
there.
That's fantastic.
She's bad. I know she said I was, but she's bad. I get it from her.
Wow, there's such a intersection of power and fire, and you can just feel it, you know, just coming through the camera. And I really commend and salute you,
Yeah.
Attorney Baker. You're just a phenomenal woman and a phenomenal advocate, and we totally support you in everything that you do.
Yeah.
Totally.
My battery's getting ready to die now.
Okay.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I wish I
We
had
did.
longer, but all right.
And
Thanks
I'll reach
so
out
much.
to you. Yeah, we'll reach out to you about coming to one of the Black Women Lawyers meetings. So you can hear, we have about 325 members. So we can find out what we can do to support you further. And Breonna Taylor.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Good
you.
one, everybody.
All right.
Keep fighting. Keep fighting. Thank
No
you so
justice,
much.
no peace.
Yes.
Say her name.
Yep. Say her name, Breonna Taylor. Yep. Oh,
Wow.
so that was awesome.
That was totally awesome.
I mean, I'm like, y'all gonna look, audience, y'all gonna look up, and Tracy and I I don't know, we're gonna be in Kentucky, we probably be in Minneapolis. Look, you gonna look up, you gonna get like some, that was awesome though with Lonita, because
and now we're both vaccinated, so we can, get out.
We're both vaccinated, and we did that. And I know some of y'all out there are still scared about getting vaccinated. That's like me. I don't like to fly, but I like to travel. So this is what I do. I get on a plane and I pray. I'm like, Jesus, I just pray. I do for those of y'all who went to Catholic school with me, I do the Our Father, the Hail Mary. I my grandfather was a Pentecostal minister. I mean, I bring it, hey, gospel music. So it's a means to an end,
So
yeah.
are you afraid of like being up in the air? You just don't like the whole process of flying? Like me personally, I don't mind flying, but I just can't stand, like the whole cattle call situation in these airports today. Maybe we can just book a charter flight or something. And
well, I don't know about charter because I always see stuff happening with the small plane, so I'm more inclined to be on the big plane. Yeah, but no, I'm generally not too big on flying, but I love to travel. I've lived in France and South Africa, and I've traveled to Senegal, India, and so shout out to Coral Watt. I was just talking to her earlier, and
Is she in Africa?
No, but she's been everywhere. She right now she's, like the rest of us. We're all waiting till everything opens up and it's safe to travel. But it's, yeah, there's so much you can see in the world. And so I don't like flying, but I like traveling. So I just do it. I mean, the longest flight I've had is 15 hours to go to and from India. And that was,
really?
Yeah, that was pretty.
Wow.
And then before that was 11 hours from London to South Africa. And, I just told myself, okay, you can't freak out for 11 hours. That's just not a good look. So I just had to calm myself down. I know some people take medicine,
Right.
but I don't.
I was going to ask you about that, but.
Yeah, but I don't. But for me, I want to be alert. I want to be alert just in case something go down. I got to swim. I got to parachute out. I don't know what I got to do. I want to be alert. So, but back to Lonita Baker. That was amazing. She's doing a thing. She's doing it. I know Ben.
Yeah.
I first connected with Ben Crump back in 2015 and in LA when we had the National Bar Conference, and that's where he had a lot of the attorneys that do these police misconduct cases. They had some of the attorneys that were connected that were on dealing with Rodney King and all that, and they were actively recruiting us to get more of us attorneys, Black attorneys, because the National Bar Association is the Black attorneys. It was started in 1925. And the reason it was started is because the ABA at the time was racist and they weren't trying to let us in. Now you can do the NBA and the ABA. And we do have Reginald Turner, who is coming in as the president-elect. So he's going to try to help make the ABA more diverse and get it together.
Can you believe that? I mean, when I think about it, Robyn, that really wasn't that long ago when Black attorneys were not allowed to become members of the American Bar Association. My great-grandfather, I should say, Ira Pettiford, and my great-granduncle, Alonzo Pettiford, were among some of the first Black attorneys to practice in the Detroit area. They hung out a shingle in what they called or used to call Paradise Valley, but that was back in the 20s, and they were not able to join the American Bar Association. I mean, really? Give me a break. I mean, that's just
crazy. Yes,
unbelievable.
I know. I grew up with my dad and his former law partner. What they would do, they were members of the ABA and the NBA, and they would go to both conferences and they would network. And then I attended my first National Bar Conference when I was in college with my dad, and you had some amazing things going on. Leon Higginbotham was there, who he had been up for consideration for the Supreme Court. And we were there when Clarence Thomas was there in one room and talking to the bar. And then in the other room, you had
that had to be interesting. What was he talking about?
Well, he was talking about his experience being on the Supreme Court. And then in the other room, they had Leon Higginbotham afterwards, just coming for Clarence Thomas, just talking about his record and just issues that he had with him. So it's like you had that dichotomy going on. It was awesome. And I remember, there's just so much. I was in Memphis at the NBA, and Johnny Cochran was there walking outside, and he was at an event, and it's like Johnny Cochran is there. It's like, well, he's just walking around like a normal, regular, everyday person. And so I know that we have the conference coming up in July. It's going to be virtual, but eventually it'll get back to being in person. And when you can go, they have events throughout the year. They have where you can go and you can just network with all these attorneys, like high profile attorneys, or just, it's like I call it a Black family reunion for attorneys. Like you get to network and connect with attorneys all over the nation. And then if they get a referral, maybe they have family in Michigan, they might refer a case to you. Or like, as you and I both, we both get calls from people, they need a lawyer in Tennessee. So we call somebody from the National Bar and send a case over. And like right now we have a case where we're working with Nathaniel Lee, who is one of the hotshot premier attorneys out of Indianapolis. Okay. Shout out to Nate. I was with him yesterday on a case that he referred to us, and he's working on out of Michigan. So is it a police brutality case? It's a truck accident, and where this Black woman, oh my gosh, it's just awful. We did depositions yesterday. So we had this woman, she died, she has children, and the tire came off of a truck and it was failure to maintain. And I'm so sorry for the family. How long were the depositions? How long did they go? They went on, it was like 4 hours. It shouldn't have been that way, but we had a witness that just wasn't acting right. So it's just like, oh my gosh. Was the witness zooming in, or? No, it was in person. So really? It was, okay. Hey, did the witness wear a mask? Because this came up recently where a lawyer I was talking with said, I had a deposition, and that the witness would not keep her mask on, and she just got up midstream of the deposition and ripped off her mask, and sorry, I'm ripping off my hair. And she says, I can't do this any longer. I can't wear this damn mask. And that was the end of the deposition. They had to turn. That's interesting. We did have the witness got really excitable and did take off his mask, but most of us, myself and the other attorney on our side, we've been vaccinated. I don't know if the court reporter or the other attorney had been vaccinated yet. I did give him information because, as you and I both know, they've opened up TCF. So now for those attorneys out there, you can go and show your bar card. And if you practice in Detroit, you have to show proof that you practice in the courts in Detroit. So, but no, the witness, he did take off his mask, but we were across the table. So, but that's a trend then. This is happening a lot. But you know what? I just got to relay this. We're broadcasting out of Michigan. I'm in Detroit, and we're in the Metro Detroit area. When I went to go get my vaccination, and it was Moderna, by the way, they didn't even care about my bar card. I had it with me. I brought a clipboard, and they were very impressed with that. I had all my vaccine verification and my bar card and my license attached to a clipboard, and they were impressed with that. But they said, hey, we don't care about the bar card. We just want to look at your license and the verification of your appointment, and you're good to go. Right. So for us, it was the same way. Yeah, we had that. Yeah, I had my second shot on March 5th. So yeah, it was the same way. Yeah. Cool. But it was great to hear from Lonita Baker, and there's elections coming up with the National Bar Association, and I think she's running for office, isn't she? Yes, she is. So she's a vice president now, but she's running for president-elect. And so the elections will be in July. And so again, it's going to be a little bit different than it normally will be. More people will be doing things more virtually. Like what she'll do is just try to travel around so people get to know her. Well, virtually, probably more virtually than. And when we're not in a pandemic, the person will physically travel around and go around to the different states so people can get to know them more. I know Lonita because she's in Region 6. We're in Region 6, and Kim Ward is our director. So Lonita has been. Is Region 6 the Midwest? Is that like Michigan and Illinois and Ohio? It's there are people, it's like Kentucky and Tennessee. So it's that. I don't know if it's like because it might be because it's the sixth. That's right, because Attorney Lonita Baker, she's from Louisville, Kentucky. So yeah, Kentucky would be in that region. That must be a big region. But it was great to hear from her. A sad occasion, the 1-year anniversary of Breonna Taylor's death. I was listening to some stories on national news yesterday, and I was just sitting there at my desk, and I just
tears came to my eyes because I have a daughter Breonna's age, and I just thought to myself, God, that could have been my daughter, you know, and just 26 years old, just taken away, ripped away from her family and the rest of the world. I mean, she was a hero too, emergency medical technician, had everything to live for, had so much to offer the world. And because of these damn no-knock warrants, she was taken from us, you know, and I just started tearing up. And I'm not really a person to really cry that much, you know, because we're lawyers, we're supposed to be tough and stuff, you know, but it just really moved me. And you know, something's got to be done. And I'm so glad that you asked Attorney Baker about what can we do, you know, what can we do to support the movement? And, you know, you bring up money, you know, coming out and supporting, protesting, calling legislators on the state and the federal level. I sure hope that President Biden responds to Breonna's mother, Tamika Palmer, you know, because something really has to be done on the federal level too.
Right. And then I know that, you know, now that Merrick Garland is sworn in, they were talking about having the, you know, having the Justice Department come in and investigate because, you know, again, in an ideal, the way it's supposed to be is the state of Kentucky is supposed to handle this. But because we got racists in different states, we got racist police, and, you know, again, most police are good, but you got these bad apples. The feds have got to come. We got to have the feds come in because, you know, you see that sign in the background, the Breonna Taylor sign that I have. It's like she's a first responder, and it's just inexcusable that she, you know, her life matters, and you know this is an injustice. And
Black Lives Matter too.
Yeah,
All
Black
lives matter, but Black Lives Matter too. You know, the president of the Wayne County Defense Bar Association, Luther Glenn, joined us on Political Coffee about 3 weeks back. And we asked him about his take on Black Lives Matter. And he said, you know, I'm not going to quote him, but one thing that he did say in essence was that the whole phrase Black Lives Matter was a little bit misconstrued. And originally it was Black Lives Matter too, because, you know, some demographics that get, you know, up in arms when they hear that phrase Black Lives Matter, as if to say no other lives matter. No, that's not the point of it. We're saying Black Lives Matter too, okay? We know white lives matter. That's why there's white privilege. That's why it's white supremacy, okay? But Black lives matter too, in America and all across the world.
That's right. And so, okay, so folks, we're going to jump off this Zoom. We got a action packed. We've got Pam Perry as our next guest. So stay tuned on Facebook. We're going to hop off this Zoom, and this is Political Coffee with Robyn and Tracy. And, you know, we're about to get started soon with our next guest. So, yep.
See you soon.
We'll see you in a minute.
Like and subscribe.
Yep.
We'll be back.